Testing, testing. Boleh dengar tak? Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Boleh, Doktor.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, boleh nampak eh? Okay. Okay, just check. Many 12. Yang lain ada exam hari ni? Okay, anyway, I'm going to start. Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. So everybody can hear me, eh? Boleh dengar tak? Just type something in the chat there. Right, if you can hear me, or you can just respond. Hello. Okay, boleh dengar. Right, so I'm going to share a few things. Okay, basically, why I do this ad hoc discussion is that, okay, I just written your assignment. So everybody got the assignment according to your group. So I already sent email. Please check your email, you them. So I written two things. One is the rubric, the marks that you get, and then another one is the report with my comments lah. So based on after marking everything, so I make a summary lah. Summary is what I have shared in Telegram. Okay, just in case, because I know that you are preparing for the subject, so I don't want to actually you last minute study about it. Okay, so let me just share. Okay, so can you see the words that I'm sharing? Yes, no? Can somebody just respond? Because I cannot see the chat actually when I'm sharing. I cannot see the chat and I cannot see whatever you thumbs up and everything. I cannot even, actually, I don't see it because it's actually in another screen. Okay, so if you can reply, just reply. If not, I'm talking and then you cannot listen, then wasting both our time. Okay, so can somebody just respond using mine? Unmute it. Just say that yeah, can hear before I start, because last time when I did online meeting, I talked about 30 minutes, and unfortunately, nobody actually talk when they cannot listen to me, hear me, right? They just put it in the chat. So in the end, I need to repeat again the whole thing. Okay, anyone?
Can hear you, madam.
Okay, just respond. If not, I'm not able to start. Okay, very hard lah to get a student answer. You don't have anything actually to show you. I don't actually ask you to open the video ke whatever. Just respond. Nak malu, tak ada malu lah. Untuk ilmu, there's no shy about it, right? For knowledge, if you want to score, then you cannot be shy. Okay, so this is just a summary on what you should have prepared. Okay, this one I have already mentioned in the last class, week 13 already. So just recap again. Okay, don't do last minute. Anyway, tomorrow is the exam, so if you just started today, then it's last minute lah. But anyway, you have time if you want to read through it. Okay, first one is that preparation for final exam is that we have two parts, three parts lah. Part 1A and B is MCQ question, which is multiple choice question, and part C is subjective question. Okay, so my tips, or what I have already mentioned many times when you do your exam for midterm. Okay, first tip says read textbook PDF Bolton for all chapters. This one already uploaded in Ulearn since week 1. So 8 chapters all in Ulearn. Okay, this is for you and you have already answered for midterm question. And I'm sure after you answered for midterm question, you notice that, oh, this question is in the textbook. Yep. How we do the question is that basically referring to textbook for Bolton. So make sure that you go through the chapters in Bolton. Okay, and most of the part A will be from Bolton. Part B is something that the knowledge that you have. Then we do based on LO2, which is on analysis. Okay, so it might not be direct question. Okay, it's like a higher order learning thinking skill question. Okay, but question. Okay, number 2 is read PowerPoint slide. Okay, the slide that I have give you 8 chapters. Okay, make sure that you go through the chapters, or if you can remember what I talked about during class because you didn't take note, then go to the video recording that I shared in Ulearn. Okay, listen to it. You can do speed up the video by 2 times so that you can listen to it. 2 hours video cut short to 1 hour, right? And then number 3 is practice the quizzes given in Ulearn. So I have announced last week that I have uploaded the quiz chapter 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, to help you for your MCQ question. Okay, chapter 5, chapter 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Other than that is there is a quiz for passive sample question final exam. Only one sample is available because only 1 year during the PKP was the MCQ. Okay. After that, part A and B was converted back to subject question. So this time around, we turn back again to MCQ question. So part A and B, you can do that sample 3 times testing. Okay. And part C will be the subjective question. So part C is the sample of question. I already mentioned many times in class that part C is a case study similar to your assignment. Okay. So if you did your assignment, you committed to your assignment, means that you're not actually call it as sleeping partner lah. Okay. You didn't do anything, only did 5% of the work out of 100%. Then you will have trouble later to answer for final exam. But if you did committed 100% to the group assignment, okay, you understand each part of it, but task 1 until task 5 or 6, then I'm sure you can answer the final exam for part C well. Okay, so last one is practice answering assignments several times. Okay, assignment means the assignment that you did on the Robocon lah. Okay, you have your answer back. Okay, practice that without referring to your assignment lah. Close that, put it aside, and then try to do it on your own, as if you are in an exam. Try to settle it within 1.5 hours. Can you do it? Okay, if you can do it, then you already practice that. Okay, so try to do for robot 1, robot 2. Okay. And also you can do additional example if you want for the past year sample part C. There are 2 case study in the previous sample, so you can do that also. So question is some similar format. Any question on that? Any question?
No, doctor.
Okay, no. Right, so now we go to the case study. Case study. I mean the assignment lah. Case summary of the case study. I already list out everything so that since it's morning, so you have time actually to reflect back what you did. Did you miss out parts of it, or did you have everything in your assignment? So the first one is task number 1. Okay, student did not identify the function for signal conditioning, data presentation, and type of mechanism. They only identify sensor and also actuator, pneumatic, hydraulic, electric actuator. Mechanical actuator is a type of actuator, but it's not considered for that 3 types of actuator. So you didn't identify that. So example, let's look at your assignment. Okay, in the assignment, okay, if you go through the assignment, it was mentioned already. Okay, task number 2, here, task 2. Okay, organize, structure, relate all identified function and flow of energy material signal into a complete process. Write your answer in the form of functional block diagram. Okay, design must follow the rules or Robocon. So basically, how you get this one is when you already list out what are the function. Okay, so measurement system, you need to mention about sensor, not all. It's not all. Okay, need to have sensor and signal conditioning and data presentation. Okay. Number B, actuator system is electrical actuator plus mechanism or pneumatic actuator plus mechanism or and hydraulic actuator plus mechanism. Okay. And lastly is controller. So most of you, okay, what I see is that you only focus on sensor and maybe electric actuator only. There's no mentioning about signal conditioning. Okay, you have learned in signal conditioning whereby I gave you a task that you did using Tinkercad to Tinkercad before this. It was using the H-bridge PWM. Okay, that is a type of signal conditioning. What is it used for? It's used to control the speed of the motor. Okay, so don't forget to use this. Okay, signal conditioning, lots of things, filtering. Okay, and data presentation. What is it? Indicators. Okay, you can put an LED at the end to indicate that the motor is running or the sensor detecting an object. Okay, so I give you an example lah. It doesn't mean that you use what I gave this example in your final exam. You can choose other option. Okay, so so what I would suggest is that other than looking to the the slides that I gave you, Bolton, okay, Bolton, you have the notes here. Go through it. Of course, you need to go through it if you want to answer the MCQ question. Okay, don't expect that it's going to be same with what the sample given. Okay. Chapter 3, for example, the notes, signal conditioning. So you can see that signal conditioning is, there are 7 main things. So you can choose which one that you want to use. For example, filtering. If too much noise, example, ultrasonic sensor, you want to use filtering or IR sensor. Example, okay, A to D converter, D to E converter. Unfortunately, nobody actually used this in explaining the signal conditioning. Some did, yeah, because they choose like Raspberry Pi, Arduino, and so on. Okay, but most of you didn't insert that in your assignment as a function to be selected. Okay, so go through the notes lah, basically. Okay, what I see is that lacking in terms of that part and data presentation. Okay, data presentation. There are lots of data presentation that you can use. Okay, example. Okay, go through the notes. Okay, indicators, recorder. For example, you record the data. Last time when you do the Padlet assignment on Tinkercad, you record the data and then you plot it, or even your assignment, you plot it into a graph. Okay, so in your assignment, you have the graph, but in the function, there's no explanation about it. Okay, when there is no explanation, then there's no marks. Okay, you don't expect that I'm going to find the marks for you. You want to get marks, you need to explain it in the table. Right? So types of mechanism, same thing. Type of mechanism. Mechanism. Mechanism itself is a chapter. Okay, it's a chapter. And in the chapter mechanism, there's lots of mechanism. Example, okay, the main 4 is the rotary to rotary motion, linear to linear, rotary to linear, and linear to rotary. Okay, so example of rotary to rotary, you want to use gear or linkages. So you need to mention, for example, when you compare, for example, rotation to rotation motion, rotary to rotary motion. So you list out 3, right? List out 3 and just choose one. So you can actually list out, you want to use gear, linkages, and back drive. So in the end, which option that you choose between 3? So it need to be in the um, same domain lah, basically. Don't actually list out, linkages, and then another one is cam and follower. It's different. Cam and follower is linear to linear. Okay, so need to be in the same domain. Okay, so lots of things that I think you're missing on it. Most of students didn't list out the mechanism, types of mechanism. Okay, okay, that's why you marks are mostly, even though you have lots of sensor, you add that. Yes, correct. You can have that, but in the assignment and even in the final exam, it mentioned that compulsory or wajib lah to have a conversion between motion. So you need to have a mechanism. Okay, it's not about making it because you want to use this, then you omit the mechanism. Okay, so you need to have that mechanism. Okay. And why you use the mechanism? Example, gear. Why do you use gear? Of course, to increase the torque value. So that is one reason why you choose it. So you need to explain it. You cannot simply just choose it because of, well, it's the best option and there is no justification in terms of technical justification. Okay, task 2 and 3 must be related discussion. So what is task 2? Okay, task 2, basically all must be related lah. What you explain here, I'm going to check, is it connected with task 2? And does the block diagram in task 2 related to the function that you select? Okay, sometimes student, in the block diagram, they draw out the PWM. There's PWM in the block diagram. There's H bridge in the block diagram. But unfortunately, in the function, there's no comparison of that. Suddenly missing. Even for mechanism, same thing. There's no comparison of mechanism. If possible, mechanism, do not combine it with electrical plus, for example, electrical actuator, and then gear. No, don't compare it. It's not the same. Electrical, pneumatic, hydraulic, yeah, you can compare it. Okay, but for mechanism, just make it into one function. Okay. Task 3, the selection of suitable mechatronic equipment only focus on one type of selection. So this is, I think there were a few group that only submitted for the task 3, the list of function. Okay, suggest 3, pick one function. All is regarding selection of sensor. Where did the signal conditioning go? Where did the mechanism go? Where did the actuator go? Okay, there's no indication. Even though you put there 20 sensor to be used to actually design the robot 1 or robot 2, still won't get marks. Okay, because the rubric, if you see the rubric, okay, that's why I said to you, please refer rubric. You see here, function elaborated sensor, signal conditioning. If there is no indication of it discussing about signal conditioning database, then you get 0 mark directly. Over here, only sensor get full mark 5. Okay, actuator and controller. So that's why the minimum that at least 5 function, but 5 function is indicating of all of this. More than that, go ahead if you want to go do more than 5 sensor. Okay, the best way is that to answer the full design of the assignment lah. For example, what you did is good, which is to come up with 15 function. Okay, but if 15 function doesn't have these 5 main functions, then you still won't get full mark. Okay, means that the more doesn't mean you get full mark. Okay, same goes to the closed loop, the plot diagram. Plot diagram need to be, what you put in the function need to relate to the block diagram. And the selection of component is also basically referring to what you have written here. Most of the time, if you don't have it here, then there's no selection of mechanism over here or selection of, example, signal conditioning is not here. So you will get, if out of 5, you only put sensor, everything sensor, then most of the time I will give you 1 or 2 marks only. Okay, and if you see here, the weightage towards the LO4, it's higher. This one is 1, 2, 2.5, 4, and so on. Right. Okay, so for the part, most of the functionality is based on the PowerPoint presentation that you presented. So most I give you all the group mostly are full marks lah, because you did quite good. Okay, so make sure that read carefully, the instruction. Okay, so for the case of this, okay, student based on rubric, marks are given. No selection, there will be no marks. Okay, so signal conditioning, example, to control speed or direction of motor, then put in how to actually control the speed of motor. You have learned that PWM over bridge. Okay, data presentation, example, indicators, type of mechanism. Okay, convert from linear to linear, rotary to rotary, and so on. Okay, so lots of option you have, but unfortunately, it wasn't in the assignment. This assignment is 6 student assignment. So if you don't have it, unfortunately, there is no markah kesian. Tak ada markah kesian because it's a group assignment. Okay, most of it, reason why the assignment become like this is what I can make a conclusion is that because last minute doing assignment, because I remember you guys did an assignment only after week 11 when I asked about the assignment. Okay, even though it was given early, week 3. Okay, so this is pengajaran lah basically to all students. Okay, do not take for granted your assignment. Okay, it will show in your work. Task 3, the selection of components out of scope, not taught in class. Example, some of you use camera or vision. I already told you, do not use it. This is not in the syllabus. If you read Bolton, there is no vision or camera. Okay, student will only be evaluated based on class syllabus. Okay, because you are taking mechatronics system. This is not advanced mechatronic. It's a basic introduction to mechatronics. So please follow to what the syllabus. Remember, read the PowerPoint slide that I gave you and read the Bolton textbook. Okay. Lastly, sketching design is not telling with the selection in task 3. Example, in task 3, you have the selection. Okay. But however, in the sketching, suddenly it's not there. Or in the sketching, you have the, for example, you are using a gear. But in the task section, there is no discussion of mechanism. Okay, so I noticed that lots of this in a few group happen. Reason why I can make a conclusion is that when you divide the task according to 6 students, okay, for example, student 1 do task 1, student 2 task 2, student 3 task 3, and so on. So what happens is that the student doing task 3 didn't discuss with the student doing task 4. Does it tally the information? Okay, you select gear. Is it being discussed in the selection of component? Okay, so this is already informed last time. Okay, don't simply just give or allocate the task to certain student. Group or team leader need to lead the group to actually, after doing that, discuss, present it. Oh, which one it doesn't tally and so on. So that is group leader responsibility actually. Right? So I think that will be the comment. Okay, so let me just show to you an example. Okay, okay, this one is group. Okay, group 2 group 14 okay, group 14 got the highest marks. Congratulations. Okay, so what they did was just that I think what they lacking is on the, if you see the rubric, rubric is that you need to explain first the problem statement. So the student didn't, the group didn't actually do that. Okay, and justified it. But however, for part 1 is lesser marks. So it doesn't really actually affect to the weightage is smaller. So it doesn't affect marks. But anyway, it's lacking the problem statement lah basically. But how for the other parts is good. Okay, so example, okay, example, let me show you an example. Okay, this is the wrong part. Okay, task 3, move the robot from starting position as constant speed. If I read this one function, my thinking is that, oh, the student want to compare PWM, H-bridge, and so on. Okay, but the option come up with stepper motor, brushless motor, and motor driver. But it's not actually in the same domain. Okay, so this is actually, when you want to do this, it is actually signal conditioning. Okay, so marks deducted there because this is the only, there's no signal conditioning actually inside the answer. And there's no data presentation. This is question-based data presentation. Okay, this is not the way that I would suggest. Okay, separate out mechanism. Don't find servo motor plus gear, servo motor plus motor, servo motor plus chain. Okay, it's the same thing, servo motor in the end. Okay, so mechanism lah. Instead of this one, the mechanism to pick up the ball. Okay, gear, belt drive, chain drive. Okay, or you can put there rotary to rotary motion lah. Right? So for example, The rest is good. Okay, no problem. Another group that I want to share is, okay, this is one same thing. Okay, so lacking the signal conditioning and data presentation is not in the task one. There's no description of it in task one. So how do you want to control the motor? There's no mentioning about it. Okay. Then even though you have lots of function and 10, but if I cannot find the signal conditioning and data presentation, then still there's no marks for that. And then after I go through, I found out that, oh, there is actually the group mentioned PWM. Okay, but why was it not discussed in the selection of function? Okay, so that will be what I would suggest, not tally lah between section task 2 and task 3, not tally. Raw diagram is okay, but the selection of component is not there. PWM is not available suddenly. Okay, so don't do that same mistake in the final exam. Okay, so I think that will be all my comment on the assignment and for preparation for tomorrow for your MCQ. Okay, so make sure that first I want to advise all students in for the final exam, students are not allowed to bring in your handphone into the exam hall. So you need to put it outside in your bag, switch off. If you have alarm, switch all alarm off, because your handphone will actually, even though you switch off your handphone, but if there is alarm, your handphone will automatically on. Okay. If you don't want your handphone to actually be stolen, then just leave it at home or leave it at hostel. Okay. Because this time around, handphone is not allowed into the exam hall. If you're caught, then the penalty will be digantung satu semester, one semester on leave, right? And that paper fail lah, basically. Okay, so and please do not, I would suggest that do not go to the toilet lah. Nowadays, I think they don't allow too many students into the toilet. There will be a lecturer or technician handling those students who go to the toilet. Okay, do not discuss about I mean, what you have learned on throughout this 14 week, make sure that you can actually focus on the exam, 3 hours. So my suggestion is that 1 hour to settle for the MCQ question, 2 hours is for the subjective question for case study. Okay, time your answer, time your answer. Okay, and make sure the last here, practice answering assignment. Reason why your assignment that you submit is type means that you type in words. You didn't write handwritten it. So you will have a problem when you want to write out because you're not used to doing it. Okay, so my suggestion is that try to practice many times. Okay, many times, practice out. Can you do the similar answer for your assignment if you answer it within 1.5 hours? Okay, drawing, sketching, everything. Okay, so format already shared to you, part C on previous, so should be no problem. Okay, so I think that would be all. Any question from student? It's already 30 minutes. Any question? Your exam will be tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So please come early. 8:30, you are allowed. I think 8:40 or 8:40 or 8:45, you are allowed into the exam hall. So bring, I would suggest to bring everything lah. Bring ruler, bring pen, pen, black pen, blue pen, red pen, whatever lah to sketch kan. If you like sketching with different color, go ahead and sketch it with different color. Okay, and if you want to sketch using a pencil, of course you can do that also. So bring a pencil and then also bring your rubber lah, okay, eraser. Okay, Any question? No question, then that'll be all. See you guys tomorrow at 9. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.